everyone, and welcome back to another Craig and Dave Unscripted. Just me and Dave this week, and a slightly shorter video than normal. But we wanted to update you on the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. We've been having lots of responses, and we've picked 2 initial winners to join our ministry. So we'll get on to that shortly. But firstly, we've got a nice little shout out. We get these now and again, and we can't promise to respond to every single one, but this one was particularly nice from the students. So Dave, do you want to do the shout out?
Yeah, so this is a thank you to Mr Chohan from the students at Manor High School. And the students are scrolling across the bottom of the video at the moment. So Mr Chohan, we understand you are a fan of our resources. So thank you very much for that. We do appreciate it. But more importantly, your students appreciate you, and they would like to say thank you for supporting them throughout their GCSEs. You've always been there to help them with everything and anything that they've needed. And thank you especially for pushing them and making sure that they achieve the highest grades possible. So it's absolutely fantastic for us to hear that students out there are getting a good experience with the computer science, and you're delivering that. So it's a thank you from us, and it's a thank you from them. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's nice. You know, when we get shout outs like that, particularly from students, and you see how appreciative and keen they are for what a teacher has done. I mean, that one particularly appealed to us. So yeah, as we said, a thank you. So new members of the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. So if you're unaware of this, you need to go back and watch more of our Unscripted series. What have you been doing? Streaming on Netflix soon. No, it's not. But we have decided to, although we've got lots of entries, we've picked 2 initial entries, 1 teacher and 1 student, because we are getting both submitting. Now, just because you might not be on this list doesn't mean we won't feature you in the future. So our first 2 initial members of the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. Are you ready for this, Dave? Oh,
ready.
Oh, here we go. It's Kirsty, that's our teacher with Arkwright's Python program, and Nick, our student, the Craig or Dave Python program. So congratulations to both of you. You're the first 2 members of the C&D Ministry of Silly Algorithms. This highly exclusive mug, which cannot be purchased on a shop, will be making its way to you. But we can't end the video there. We've got to show people why we picked these 2. So I'll hand over to you then, Dave. Should we start with Nick's, the Craig or Dave program? I think this was one of the very first submissions we got, and it just made me chuckle, which was one of the entry requirements.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to have a look at your code, and we want to say, oh, that's a little bit special. So let's put this code on the screen, and we'll give it a quick run, I think, and see what it actually does. Okay, so here we go. So it says enter your name. Okay, enter your name. Well, I'm not going to enter my name because that's not what the algorithm's about. I'm going to put in Daniel. Okay, Daniel is my name. Your name is more similar to Dave. Excellent. Right, let's give that another run. Okay, enter your name. Sally. Yeah, your name's more similar to Dave as well. Okay, let's give this another run. Okay, now what could be similar to Craig? I reckon let's go with no, it won't be, will it? But let's go with Andy. Whoa, yes it is. Your name is more similar to Craig. Is it? What is going on?
Of course it is.
One more run.
Nonsense is this?
Let's go with William. Okay. And your name is equally similar to both Craig and Dave. And I knew that William would do that because we got told that when the entry was submitted.
So what is going on in this totally bonkers and pointless yet working silly algorithm, Dave?
Well, I think, to be a good member of the Ministry of Silly Algorithms, you can't possibly know what's really going on here. It must be completely obfuscated. But in essence, I think what's happening here is it's got Craig and Dave here as 2 variables. It's taking your name, converting them to uppercase so it can do some comparison. And then it's just having a look at the final 2 characters. If they happen to be VE, then you get 40 points on the Daveometer. And if they happen to end with AIG, then you get 50 points, presumably because of the extra letter on the Craigometer. And then it examines every letter in the name that you entered, and awards Craigometer points or Daveometer points, depending on the ASCII value of that character. And then it outputs whether if your Craigometer is higher than your Daveometer, then clearly your name is more similar to Craig, and vice versa. So I think this is absolutely fantastic. What I would say is just because this happens to feature Craig and Dave in part of its algorithm doesn't mean that it was why it got picked. Okay, it got picked because it's silly, it runs, it makes us chuckle, it's got some data that you can put in to sort of see what the outcome's going to be, and it's not obvious what the outcome's going to be. And this is a perfect example of all the instructions that you would have to learn for GCSE and A-level computer science. This code could legitimately be in an exam. I think that's one of the great things about it. And it's not the fact that it's to do with Craig and Dave. So we do have a few submissions that, are going down the Craig and Dave avenue. That's not what's going to get you highlighted. Okay, it does not have to reference Craig and Dave. But what impressed us, I think, was the use of the variables here, that the Daveometer, the Craigometer, and the use of string manipulation and the ASCII table and all that. And it's worth a nug. It's worth a nug.
And it's a completely pointless algorithm. I mean, it's completely pointless, but it works. Right. So Nick definitely deserved it as our first student winner, but our first teacher winner as well. So this is Kirsty's Arkwright. So tell us a bit about this one, Dave.
Yeah, this is Kirsty's Arkwright's algorithm, and I had to look at this a few times to understand what's going on. What I particularly like about this algorithm is I think Kirsty saw the algorithm that I created, the Morecambe and Wise program, where you had all the right digits, but not necessarily in the right order. And that was a very famous Morecambe and Wise sketch back in the 1970s. But another very famous sketch was from the two Ronnies.
Oh, hang on. I've just got it. 4 candles. It's the 4 candles sketch, isn't it?
It's 4 candles.
I am showing my age. The kids watching this were like, what are you finding so funny? No wonder this is a teacher submission. I've just got it.
Yeah, this is a teacher submission. And you can tell, can't you? Because this is, humorous for teachers. So that's what made it stand out for me. The fact that it had taken the concept of the Morecambe and Wise sketch and then had produced a 4 candles version of it. And I'm going to be a little bit honest here. When I was first thinking about this ministry and I thought about creating a bit of sample code to show you what we were looking for, I did want to do a 4 candles piece of code. And I couldn't quite work out in my head, well, what would it do? How's it going to work? Oh, it's a bit complicated, which is why I came up with the Morecambe and Wise program, because I just thought that would be so much simpler to put together. So hats off to Kirsty. This is an absolute belter. Okay, so let's give it a run and see what it does. Okay, so no inputs necessary. It just gives you an output. Okay, so it says, welcome to Arkwright. We have the following items available for purchase today: 4 candles, ointment not sore tips, hose not O's, peas, foot pumps not pumps for your feet, and back scrubbers not half-inch tap washers. 2 out of 6 ain't bad. Now, what I love about this is you give it another run and it's completely different. So let's give it another run. Okay. So we've got something a little bit. Some of it's the same, okay, because obviously the nature of the algorithm and what it's doing. But this time we have the following items available for purchase today: 4 candles, not 4 candles. Saw tips, hose not O's, peas not peas, and pumps for your feet, and windscreen washers not half-inch tap washers. What is this?
You are, if you're a student watching this, you're not finding this funny at all. It must be there on YouTube somewhere. You want to look up the two Ronnie's fork handles sketch.
Just do a quick search for two Ronnie's fork handles, and you'll get it. I mean, whether it's still humorous, in the year 2021, but back in the day, it was definitely a talking point. Absolutely. Right, I'm not even going to attempt to tell you what this algorithm is effectively doing, but in brief, we've got a list which is all the things for shopping. We've then got some inappropriately named lists, which I particularly like.
Yeah, FA, love it.
Storing the possibilities, and then effectively what it's doing is it's taking a random item from those lists and compiling an output from it, but it's suitably obfuscated in a way without comments and procedures and all the rest of it, that I can't truly know what's happening here unless I look at it very, very closely and I trace it. So that's fantastic.
And we're not going to spend our time tracing some of these because you are making them proper obfuscated. Well, look, that Kirsty, fantastic. So I'll just bring those two winners up again. So, yeah, Kirsty and Nick definitely deserving of our first two members of the C&D Ministry of Silly Algorithms. So we'll get those mugs in the post to you. Just a reminder then, very quickly, if you aren't aware, we'll have a whole video on it. You can go back and watch it. It's in the playlist. But if you think you could do something similar or better to what you've seen, in brief, what we're after you is you sending us the .py Python file. It has to be coded in Python. If you want to be up for winning a mug, we'd also need, obviously, a home address to send it to. That data will only be held by us purely for the purpose of sending you a mug if you're a winner. That is it. You do not have to supply us with, obviously, your home address at all. We can still nominate you as a winner, but obviously we'll be able to send you a mug. So just a little bit of fun. But as I say, we've got a whole video on that. You can go back and check out what it's about. I think that's it for today, then. Oh, go on, Dave.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to underline the fact that you don't even need to give us your home address up front. Just send us the algorithm, okay? Yeah. And, if we like it, then we can get back in touch with you and say, we like it, we'd like to feature it. Could you give us your home address if you want a mug? And then you can decline and we'll still show your algorithm, or you can accept, send us your address and we'll send you the mug. And, we're not doing anything else with that data. It is purely and simply for the Ministry of Silly Algorithms. Okay, yeah. So
someone is at the front door.
Another great
silly algorithm. I'll tell you what, ring on the go.
Before I do these streams, I mute my phone, I mute my work chat. I'm going to have to unplug my virtual assistant. Oh, ridiculous. I think I'm leaving that in the video, though, because it fits perfectly with the theme.
Absolutely, fits absolutely perfectly. So there you go. Now, I just wanted to underline one last thing. Craig did say it. I just want to make it absolutely clear. These were not the only entries we've received. We've received other entries as well. But because we haven't featured you today, doesn't mean that an algorithm you've already sent us won't feature in the future. So you don't need to resend it to us. If you've sent it to us, we've got it. Yeah. And it may well feature in the future, but I don't want to do loads and loads of algorithms in these videos. We'll just feature one or two at a time. So that's what's happening there. Okay.
Brilliant. Well, we'll leave it there for today. Next week we have another guest speaker on, so hopefully you can look forward to that. Until then, have fun, and we'll see you next week, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.